New jig, same result. I came up with a black beaded rubber legs 1/16 ounce jig. Just this morning. Success. He must be tangled up in my line because he's coming in circles. Either that or he's just dizzy. That's a beautiful cutthroat. I'd say the idea is a success. We'll see this guy swim back. I hope that was picked up. Oh, off. That was cool where I hooked him. I had to high stick it. He was over in that softer water that I can get to with my float and jig setup, but I can't get there fly fishing, so pretty cool. So what I mean about high sticking it is if I make a cast over there, and this is a 10.5 foot rod, so even longer than a fly rod, I've got my arm extended and I've got the rod tip way up in the air. There is no line actually touching the water, and that's why that current between me and there is not having an impact. Oh, something is on it. Right now even the line is completely out of the water, so it's a perfect dead drift, and I can free spool it from here to keep it in that zone a little bit longer. Alright, so since it is one of our field test days, I'm putting on a second version. I tied these for the upcoming steelhead season, and I intended today to go way downstream where there are already some steelhead available, but the weather was just kind of iffy. The first jig was tied on a 1/16 ounce powder coat painted white head, and this model is tied on a 1/8 ounce head, and instead of using the little 6mm beads, instead of using the little 6mm beads, I used the 8s, and this one has a little flash to it. And to be honest, this was the very first jig I tied when I had the idea to go black and white, which is a popular jig color up this high in the river next spring. But obviously the Cutthroat are showing me that they like it too. So I am going to keep high sticking it because I feel like each time I've cast over there, something has at least been messing with it. Well, I got that one more into the heavy current. But it is a pretty deadly way to be sure that you're getting a true dead drift when there is none of your line between here and there touching the water. Alright, that's a good spot right there. Oh, I just saw a fish rise over there too. Not that that has anything to do with what I'm fishing. Oh, I like that drift. Right in that slick. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. We got taken down, but we didn't get a hook set. All right, we are into something substantially bigger. At least it felt like it. Whew, had to catch up to that fish because it's the only downside of high sticking is that you do not have really all that tight of a line to the fish when you go to set the hook. This is just a bigger cutthroat. And what's very interesting and needs to be pointed out is this is the same water that a mere week and a half ago I was fishing tiny mayflies and catching plenty of fish, but I was not catching fish this size, even though obviously he was here. It just goes to kind of prove that these big, older, wiser fish, they have learned that they don't have to be up top messing around, taking their chances of being snatched by an osprey or an eagle or a fly fisherman. They get plenty to eat down deep, and that's where this guy was hanging out. I've probably got about 3.5 feet between my holy shit, about 3.5 feet between my float and my jig. Oh, this is a nice cutthroat. This is one of those guys. Oh man, he's thick too. Look at that beautiful cutthroat, who obviously liked my new jig. That is freaking gorgeous. And whoops. And we've got the look at the colors on that slash. I don't know how good the camera will do it, but that is just a perfect 16-inch, 17-inch cutthroat. And close to home.